Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. I hope. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, everyone. I'm hoping the system is working today because I had it taken care of. So if you are on, let me know, let me know, let me know. Let me know if you're on. Hello. I'm just gonna hang around and wait to see who pops in. I know it's Sunday. I know it's Sunday and there's so much going on. So I'll just wait and see who pops in. I am just waiting to see who pops in. And if you're coming in and you're just listening without being visible, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I will appreciate it more if you give me a thumbs up. I'll appreciate it more if you give me a thumbs up. You know, we ask for likes because that's a part of the requirement for YouTube. So we're asking you to grace us with your thumbs. Grace us with your thumbs. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Hello, hello. Thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you for my silent watchers. Thank you for my silent watchers. I'm just waiting to start. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hang in there with me, guys. Hang in there with me. Hello, thank you. Just bear with me. I'm just waiting to see who else show up on the live feed, the visible live feed, before I start, because I don't want to repeat everything I started. So hang in there with me. Thank you for popping in. I see you guys. Thank you for popping in. I am still here. Just waiting to see who else popping on my active chat screen. I appreciate those of you who are waiting in the queue. I appreciate you. My topic tonight, someone brought this to my attention and they asked me my input on it as a content provider. How am I planning if and when I'm qualified for YouTube payments? How am I planning to spend it? So I decided I'm not there yet. And with your help, I know I'll get there, but I'm not there yet. However, it's never too early to plan because historically, we have not been taught money management, especially those of us who were born before 1990. We have not been taught money management. So I loved the question. I loved the question. So I'm waiting for some content providers to come on so we could have a dialogue, especially those that are seasoned content providers, that how have they planned their money, don't necessarily need to know what they buy or do, but just, essentially how have they planned? Because thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Because it was brought to my attention that there was a content provider who made millions. Now, there are two. There's one that allegedly made millions. And because he allegedly did not do the planning correctly, he lost everything from his partners. They took everything. That's the allegation. Now, the other allegation is that there's another one that no one has taken. No one has taken his funds or her funds, that she has spent it all. That's the allegations, that she has spent it all with gambling, excessive purchases that are not investment purchases. So I'm alleging that they were just personal items, pocketbooks, and, so I decided to talk about it and get feedback from individuals who are getting their payments on a regular basis. How do they plan on spending this money, or how are they spending this money? Are they looking at the fact that this is not something that might last for the rest of our lives? This could possibly be something that will phase out within time. I mean, YouTube has allegedly paid out millions of dollars to content providers. And this has just started to really blossom into a huge business in the last 2 to 3 years. So what are we as content provider? How are we looking at the funds we're getting? Because again, we are not necessarily trained how to spend money, especially when money has come in so quickly. Especially when money has come in so quickly. How do we manage it? How do we deal with it? How do we go from just being able to pay our bills, function, take a vacation, to now having an excessive amount of money? How do we go about that? Are we thinking that we need to invest? We need to, if possible, have a planner. If possible, have a team. Because, the lotto has proven, if you look at the stat of the lotto winners, and if you look at their feedback, quite a large percentage of them has alleged that it has made their life worse having this much money. They have lost their ability to be whatever normal is, but they have lost the ability to function the way they used to function in public with family. The needs from family and friends became greater. The ability to purchase anything you want without thought. That invites a lot of stress. So when we're looking at YouTube and we're looking at the amount of we're looking at the amount of individuals that are collecting. And this is a paycheck, because if you're not paying taxes on it, it's going to catch up to you because YouTube is reporting it. So are we really thinking of the ramifications of having, I have heard, it's alleged, that there are individuals that collect up to $90,000 at any given time that they have met the requirements, because there's a requirement that has to be met. What I'm told is that the hardest requirements is the first step, which is where I am. There is such a list of things that has to be done, a certain amount of views that has to be had, a certain amount of subscriptions that has to be had, and a certain amount of likes that has to be had, along with watch hours. So after you have passed that stage and you got to the next level and you get to the next level, then the funds, I'm hearing across the board on YouTube, the funds come in very regular. So with that said, there has to be some planning, or there should be some planning. If you're at the tier where you're receiving so much money, Ingrid W., welcome, 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 welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. And as I pause to welcome Ingrid, I'm also going to welcome again my silent watchers and ask you to continue to give me your thumbs up. Ingrid, I appreciate you being here. And if you will, could you share out for me and invite others? Because for some reason, I don't think I'm where I need to be for my subscription recipients to receive my notifications. So I appreciate you being here. Please, 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 please interact and let me know if you're hearing me. Number one, are you hearing me? I was having an issue with my system. I had it fixed. So I need you to tell me, Ingrid W., if you're hearing me. Need you to let me know if you're hearing me, because my silent watchers, I can't know if they're hearing. So I have to depend on those in the chat to let me know if they're hearing me, because this system should be working flawlessly now. So please let me know if you're hearing me. So the discussion tonight, Ingrid, is for content providers of all the social media outlets. Good, thank you. Denise, girls, long time. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate your presence. Thank you. I hope it's not too loud. I can turn it down a little if it's too loud. So I was asked to talk about content providers and the funds that they receive from YouTube, and to look into how are we planning to use this money. And for those of you who are silent watchers, I am going to repeat because folk are coming in and interacting in the chat. So I was talking about content providers when they receive their YouTube pay, because that's what it is, are they paying taxes? Are they looking at investing and spending this money wisely? And I said before that this might, pardon me, this might not last forever. And I hope we're not thinking that this is going to last forever. We don't know how long that YouTube will continue to pay. So, are we being really, really putting some thought into how we manage these funds, especially for folk who are receiving large payments? It's alleged that there are two individuals. One, it's alleged by no fault. Well, it's alleged that literally he was an employee without knowing he's an employee. He thought he owned this channel, and only to for it to come to light that the people who partnered with him owned the channel. The people who partner with him got all the funds from YouTube, and it's alleged that none of it, or not all of it, was dispersed to him. And then it's alleged that there's another content provider who also received large sums of money, who is now broke, because of lack of knowledge of how to invest. I'm going to allege that the individual did not have the knowledge of how to set up a safety net around those type of funds and made sure that the funds belong to her and not a third party, because it is widely known on YouTube that there are certain countries and continents that YouTube does not pay. So these individuals who has content and has a YouTube channel has second and third parties who are collecting their funds in the US for them. Now, if a person is collecting money for you, even from your neighbor in their name, you really don't have any entitlement to it unless the person is willing to be honest, to really give it to you because it's in your name, and I'm alleging that they're the one paying the taxes on it. So therefore, if they're paying the taxes on it, and they're the ones that are managing this money and it's in their name, I cannot claim it. I would hope that the relationship that we have would make it where they realize that this is my money and leave it up to me to make payments to them. But this is not happening in all cases. So those of us who are out here who have YouTube channel in other country and is depending on someone in the US to collect the funds for you and turn it all over to you, make sure you're doing your work. Make sure that you have legal documentations. Make sure that you have all the necessary legal support for you to claim this money. Because can you imagine? You're the one providing your content. You're the one working to develop your content, but someone else is collecting the money for you. It is so important for you to make sure that you have good legal advice and that you have everything written Just saying, Jane, you and I have been friends for 40 years and I'm doing this YouTube channel. I'm going to put your name on the paperwork for YouTube so that they could send my payments to you. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. In everything that we do, money breaks friendship. Money breaks relationship. Money destroys. So it is important for you to take the time and do the work that you need to do to secure your funds. Do the work that you need to do to secure your funds because it takes a lot. I am on, I am just starting out. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Yeah, I have folk around me that constantly say to me, "What do you think about this? And could you address this? And could you address that?" And I decide what topic I want to address. I decide how I want to deal with it. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. Jeanette Gordon, good evening, good evening. Blessings, blessings, blessing. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you coming in so much. It's always wonderful to have all of you here. Without you, I will not be where I am, and I appreciate you guys coming on and interacting with me, Jeanette. I don't know if you got the notification. I think there's just I guess a certain procedure that I have not gotten to yet for everyone to get my notifications, but I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you. And could you share it? You did. Great. Thank you. Some folks are getting it and others are not. I don't know why. I have tried everything and I still I'm not getting everybody notified. So I'm happy you got it. Could you share out and invite your friends over? I'm talking about, what plans are we making? What plans are we making for our YouTube payments? What plans are we making? And as I was saying before, YouTube have certain countries and continents that they do not subscribe to. And when you're asking someone to use their information to put in the YouTube applications, you have to recognize that all the funds will go to them. All the funds will go to them. So we're talking about setting up legal parameters to make sure that our money is safe and that we're getting our monies, because it's a lot of work. For those content providers out there who are on $100,000 and $50,000 and $80,000, I mean 80,000 views and subscription, that's a lot of work. So if you're out there and you're using a third party to collect your funds, make sure you have paperwork. Make sure you have paperwork. So when the time comes for you to get your money, you get every penny of what you have agreed to. Of course, if the individual is collecting the money for you, they have to be paid because the taxes is going under their Social Security. And that's a big responsibility for anyone to take on. So you have to do the work. Do the work so you don't end up where, when it's time for you to collect your money, the person just become invisible. You can't find them. They claim the challenge as theirs. They claim the money as theirs, and you have no rights because your name is not on anything and you have not made the legal preparation. So your name could be there so you can collect your money. And then we have the other side of folks who are collecting it for themselves, but they're just squandering the money away. Guys, as I said before, this is not religion. It doesn't last forever. So plans have to be made so that it's sustainable, so that if and when you decide that, okay, this is too much, I'm going to stop now, that you have all set up investments that has return, investment that you can live off and still keep your job and live a more comfortable life than the one on your paycheck. It is so important. You know, I said it before, people who are born in the 60s and 70s and 80s, some of us, most of us, are not taught how to manage money, or schools did not teach us how to manage money. Yes, we did ABCs and one, two, threes and the math and everything. And there, I remember when I was in school in Jamaica, my high school, I saved every time my parents gave me allowance, I would take a half of it out and I would take it to put in this little savings book. I don't know how much of us remember it, that we had a little saving book and we would take it up to the principal or whoever is collecting the money and would give it to them, and we get a little book and we have to bring it, whether it's every Monday or Tuesday, we have to bring it to the school and we give our money. Can I tell you something? When my parents brought me here, Angela Lewis, welcome, 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 welcome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And they gave us the book, and I saved from the day I entered that school until I migrated. And when I went back to Jamaica, because they never told us, thank you, sis, they never told us how we're going to collect our money, how the money is going to be dealt with. And I remembered when I came here and I got to the rightful age of thinking about my money, I said, hold on, but I have a lot of money in Jamaica because I saved a good 4 years. And thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I saved. And when I went back to Jamaica, I asked someone for the bank, and they said the bank went out of business. And I'm like, what? So they took all the money? And they said, this bank, I think this bank took it over. So I went to the bank, and the bank said that record was not shared with them. So that money was gone. But I was a young teenager, young adult. So it bothered me, but it did not affect me greatly because the exchange rate was not strong at the time. So I said that to say this: if we don't check up on our money and have legal structures to make sure we get the money we work for on YouTube or not Instagram or TikTok or anywhere we are, if we do not have legal, especially for the individuals that are using third-party people to represent them on YouTube. You're doing the content, you're doing the research, you're taking all the bashing and everything, and then it turns out that you lose everything. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially if you have gotten up in the 50 and 60 and 100,000 range in subscription. Can you imagine losing everything? It's not easy. And then on the flip side, you have the ones that all they do is spend. Nothing is put up, nothing is secure, allegedly. There is this young lady, and that's why this topic was brought to me to discuss. Allegedly, there's this young lady. Okay, Angela. There's this young lady that allegedly squandered millions of dollars that she has made on YouTube in the last couple of months. Millions. And it's alleged, and she said it to herself because I went and checked my sources out. She said that she squandered it in casinos and buying expensive stuff. And come on, how can you, let's allege that the individual was making $30,000-$40,000 a year, and then you come up to making $60,000 and $70,000 on top of that, and you squander it. And it can happen because we're not taught how to manage money as a culture. As the Black culture, we're not taught how to manage money. And I spoke about this thing. I cannot stand this phrase. I am going to buy everything I never have when I was growing up. That type of belief system is what makes us can't make it financially. Because budgeting, and I learned good budgeting late in my life, good budgeting. After my divorce, I learned good budgeting. And if you're not conscious that this opportunity, it's really a gift. It's really a gift that we can be able to come on YouTube, attract people, intelligent, smart people to watch us while we talk about different scenarios, and then YouTube turn around and pay. That's a blessing. So putting it to good use. So when you get to 60 and 70 and 80 and 90, that money is there. So your life is better. You don't have to struggle as hard. Getting a good education fund for your children. Good job, Angela. Getting a good savings, a good educational account for your children. This money should be held dearly. Not that you shouldn't appreciate your paycheck, but having the ability to make more money on your paycheck where you're not answering to anyone. Well, you have to answer, because if you do the wrong things, you're blocked and you can use your channel. But as long as you follow the policy of YouTube and you do what they ask you to do legally, then it can be very successful. Then it can be very successful. So let us really look into how we do it. Let us really look into how we do it. Let us look into how we do it. How do we spend our money? How are we planning? And if we're not able to manage this amount of money, go to a bank. Personal bankers are paid by the bank. So the bank that you're putting this money in, you sit with a personal banker, you sit with a money management team, you sit with a management team, and you plan your money. Now you tell me, I'm a legend. Well, let me use myself as an example. I'm making $30,000-$40,000 a year, and I'm able to build a channel on YouTube and make another $30,000-$40,000. And I just let that go. I don't invest it. Hold a minute, guys. Sorry, guys. My sorry about that. The sun just the sunset. Oh, thank you, Mix Up Boss. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for gracing me with your presence. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mix Up. Thank you. Go ahead, Mix Up, and give me some thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Val. Thank you for being here. Thank you, guys. Yes. I know, right, Angela? The great Damien is here. I am so honored. So, Damien, I was talking about us as content providers. Now, you're a big fish in the pond. I'm just starting out. And I was talking about individuals that has their channel listed with other people's name and credentials so as to be able to collect their money. And if there's no legal compared to me, Damien, compared to me, compared to me, sweetheart, but you know that big fish is respect. Okay. And I was talking about not having control of your money. I was talking about not having control of your own money and someone else having control of your own money. Not having control of your own money and having other people controlling your money. And if you don't have the legal boundaries and set up so you're able to collect your money after working so hard on your channel, that you really have no rights to it. And how do we go about that? How do we go about that? Go about it, as I stated before, by making sure you have a legal representative. Making sure you have legal representatives set up before you even ask the individual to do it. Because if it's not in your name, it's not yours. I know, Mix Up. If it's not in your name, it's not yours. Money can divide the universe. Friendships, relationships are often broken up. So true. Relationships are often broken up over money. So if you're doing something that you're putting so much effort and time in, make sure it's in your name. And when it's in your name, make sure that you also are investing. Good, me too. Me too. Make sure that you're investing your money in your children and in your future. Make sure that you're investing your money in your children and your future. If you don't have a home and you're getting enough funds to get a home, get a home. Real estate is good investment. Get a home. Thank you. Get a home. Get a home. eh, Invest the money. Go to your bank. Talk to your personal banker. That's why they're there. You don't have to go out unless you have that much money to go out and hire an accounting team. You just have to go to the bank. Exactly, Damien. Exactly. But there are some folks who they're doing the channel, they're doing the work, but the money is going in someone else's name because it's in someone else's social security. You are wider than I'm Damien, and you know it's out there. And I'm suggesting that we change that. I'm suggesting that you change that. Unless you're going to set up, as I said, have it in writing. If it's not in writing, people can say you never say that. People can say I never made that plan with you. People can say I asked you to do the channel for me. You know it was mine. But if it's written, if it's on paper, they cannot tell you that the money is not yours. They cannot tell you. Planning ahead before the checks start to come in. Plan ahead before the checks starts to come in. Have an idea of how you want to spend this money. Have an idea of how you have as little as possible individuals involved. And if you have to get someone involved, that's when I would suggest that you go and pay someone. Pay a certified public accountant. Pay someone to manage for you. Pay someone to manage for you. Because easy come, easy go. It's not easy, but because you're not going out there, yes, because you're not going out there and toiling, it can be seem as easy, just like the lotto winners. Half of them are broke right now. Rich Unstoppable, thank you for coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Your presence is appreciated. Just like the lotto winners, a person goes from having $10 to having $10 million, and in a year, they're broke. Because we just buy, spend, and we have to entertain, and we have to. Friends and family will come out the woodwork, but you have to be able to control that. You have to be able to control that. I don't remember who it is, but it's a male movie star or actor that he built a foundation to take care of his friends and his family. When I read that, I said, this is the smartest man I've ever heard of. He built a foundation. They'll get a penny a month or a penny every 2 months. And what he voiced is, he said, listen, they have a job. This is just for when they have emergencies. Because, and I'm going to say this, very rarely, and we have quite a few content providers on here. And if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. Let me know, guys. Very rarely our friends and family are champion on YouTube. Am I right? Very, very rarely. Or friends and our family or a champion YouTube. They'll show up at every video we do. They'll show up at everything we post. They'll give us a thumbs up. They'll watch the videos. Very, very few. Very few support across the board. Am I telling the truth, Damien? Rich, unstoppable. Am I telling the truth? Very rarely. If they do watch, most of the time they don't support. Most of the time they don't support. They'll watch, but they're not supporting. They'll listen, but they're not supporting. So therefore, it should be difficult for you to turn over everything for them to manage if they're not your champion supporters. If they're not there for you, they're just there to collect the money. That's a hard pill. That's a hard pill. So, guys, do your homework. Do your homework. Do your planning. Do the things you need to do. Yes, Rich. Thanks for confirming it. Yes. The friends and family that will support us out here on this YouTube venture are those that would support us across the board, that accept us and support us across the board. But the majority is not doing it. They're not doing it. But if you should come in with a large bank, they'll show up. They'll show up. So you have to be able, we have to be able to set the parameters and the boundaries around this YouTube phenomenon. We have to be able to do it. We have to be able to do it because every person that views me, every person that likes my channel, every person that supports my channel, I appreciate you. I say it a lot and I mean it. I appreciate you because there's so much content out there that you could be with them. There are folks out there that says I will only watch X and nobody else. And then you guys are saying I am going to support those folk who the channel, has an interest for me. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate. And then there's those friends and families as I go on, they're there. I appreciate you. But for the most part, the work is hoping that people will come on. Is hoping that people will come on. Because that's where you're going to grow. So then you work and you grow the channel and somebody else takes the money, or you squander it away, not thinking of tomorrow and next week. If YouTube decides that, okay, I'm going to lock this area down because it's not benefiting my program anymore, you should be able to look back and say, wow, I'm glad I have the opportunity to do this because look at me 5 years down the road. I'm able to enjoy some extra stuff in my life. Anything that has to do with money takes thinking, takes looking at the whole picture and making sure that it's of benefit to you, the person who owns the channel. And if you're a channel owner or a content provider, make use of it. Make use of it. Invest it properly. If you have children, plan their education. I know I've said it before, but there are people joining. Plan their education. And think about others. Find a charity, a respectable charity to donate to. Because there's a blessing that comes from helping. There's a blessing that comes from it. Believe me, I'm living on it. And it's not money. It's not money. He's getting through stuff that is so difficult that God gives you, those of us who believe in a higher force, He gives you the extra strength to hang on a little longer, give you the extra strength to go on, provide people in your life to encourage you, provide the ability for you to make a difference for someone. And if we look at it like that, we'll be more careful in how we spend. Those of us who are being paid. As I said, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't know when it will happen. That's not the goal here. I started this channel really just sitting down one day and saying, what is this YouTube thing about? And I just picked up my phone and started. And when I think I got 10 views. I was so excited. And I said, oh, I'm going to try this again. And now I'm almost 1 year in. And I'm like, wow. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of courage because believe me, if you're on and you're here talking and talking and talking and the support is not there and nobody's giving you a thumbs up, it can be disheartening. It can be disheartening. It can be where you go, you know what? I'm not doing this. I don't want to sit and talk to myself, but the competition is stiff. There are folk that has their people that they will never support another channel. So therefore, when we get the support and when YouTube say, hey, people love what you're doing, I'm going to pay you for it. Let's spend it wisely. Let's spend it wisely. And let me pause and say, this is Veterans Weekend here in the US. And I would just like to pause and say to everyone that is listening to me and those that will watch me, if you have served your country, our country, I thank you. I thank you. Because of you, we're able to survive. Those that are still actively serving, we appreciate your service. And those that, especially those who have served and get out and are suffering, so sorry. Families, seek the help that they need. Seek the help that they need and get the resources that are out there to help them. It is disheartening to see so many veterans that are homeless. And I have a little peek on the inside in that my profession allowed me to care for a lot of veterans over the years. And most of the individuals that are on the street, most of the individuals that are suffering without care, sometimes, thank you, Damien. Thank you. I appreciate you. Sometimes it's because Sometimes it's because they did not get the paperwork completed. Sometimes it's dishonorable discharge. Sometimes it's mental illness that they have not followed through. In any case, we appreciate the work that they have done. And when you find, thank you, Miss Blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm honored to have your presence. Thank you. I appreciate you. Sometimes it's varied issues. So let's be merciful when we see them asking for help. Let's be merciful and try to help in as much as you can, because the reason they're out there. Yes, yes, we know. Some are out there that are getting their benefits and they're still begging. But you know what? It's not up to you and I to judge. Because, in all honesty, when I see them and I'm in a safe space where I can stop and talk to them, I talk with them. I talk with our veterans that I meet on the streets that are begging. I would stop and say to them, how are you doing? Um, why are you here? Are you able to sign up for your benefits? Are you able to seek the counseling and the help that you want? And I remember one young man, I must have stood and spoke to him for about 10 minutes. And he said to me, I don't remember where I serve. I am suffering from mental illness. I lost everything. So, let's be gracious and let's remember that the work that they did it selflessly. And people say, but they got paid. Yes, they got paid, but it is an awful job, because they come out with all kinds of post-traumatic stress, or limbs that are missing. It- it's a job that you go in and you don't know how you're going to come out. So this Veterans Weekend, let us give a cup of water to a veteran that we meet. Let's give a smile to a veteran that we meet, because they have done such a good job for us. Such a good job for us. We are grateful, and we should be grateful. So that's my commercial. Okay, Miss Blessing. So I was originally speaking on, before I decided to give a shout to our veterans, I was speaking on the responsibilities and the legal steps that should be taken as YouTube content providers if your country is not a country that YouTube acknowledges for payment. That going out to a friend or a random person that you meet online and giving them authority to collect your money, and giving them all the legal rights to collect your money without setting up legal boundaries for yourself where your money comes to you. And the allegation that it has happened to a very prominent YouTuber, it's very painful. It's very, very painful to see someone put in so much work and end up getting pennies back in return when allegedly millions was collected. And on the other hand, for those who are responsible for their own funds but are squandering it away, it's alleged that there's a new YouTuber who has come out and said that she's penniless after getting millions. And when she was asked, I watched the video because I tend to do my research so I don't come on and make statements that I can't pay for. It's alleged that she's made millions and squandered it. And now she is allegedly came out saying that she's broke. So I'm suggesting that we set up a strong foundation to invest our money. The bank that you're banking, they have personal bankers, they have money managers that we don't have to pay for. They're part of the business you do with the bank. Go in and sit with them and do an investment. Put away money for your children's future. Put away money for your future. Because this YouTube phenomenon, as I said, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Who could have known that someone could sit on a in front of a computer and make millions? Who could have told me that 20 years ago, even 10 years ago? So we have to be mindful of how we spend our money. Surround ourselves with people that have our best interests at heart. Surround ourselves. I've always said, the things that I don't know, I have a village around me that I could go to. If a person does not know how to save a penny and you watch the way they manage their money, why would you give them your money to manage? So you seek people who are more advanced in the area that you are weak. You see those people to guide you and support you through these processes. Money, again, and I'll keep saying it. Yes, I know what I'm saying. I'm not dementic. I'm fully aware that I'm repeating myself, and it's for a reason. There are people that are coming in and they're asking, what are you talking about? Okay. So I have family, friends, that if I stop at A in a certain issue, they go on to X, and I can go to them and says, could you enlighten me or educate me on this issue? See, go to people who have a valid track record of being successful. If you have a neighbor that's raised one chicken for 10 years, and then you have another neighbor that raised 50 chicken in 6 weeks, sell it, rebuy, and raise again. Who would you go to for encouragement and advice? The one with the proven success. We don't know everything, and we can't know everything. But surrounding ourselves with people that knows what we are stuck at makes the difference. I'm smart because of the people I surround myself with, not just education, why I'm smart. I tend to know a few things. I have a sister that says once we were in a conversation and she said to me, I happen to know a few things and I happen to be educated on a certain level that I'm able to impart this to you, but you're not listening to me. That's why you have these issues. So it's important to surround yourself. President Obama, I have such respect for that man, not only because he was the president, but looking at his track record in life. He grew up in the south side of Chicago. He went to a renowned college and he did the work and came out to be the president. But guess what? He lifted himself out of that situation. Look at Oprah Winfrey. Again, Look at where she started, and she lifted herself. Sometimes, if not most of the times, we can grow where we are broken, but it's okay. It's okay to make a change. It's okay to step up. Have you watched that TV show? We're going up on the east side. We got an apartment. How did it go again? Got an apartment on the moving all up to the east side. That's life. That's life. Because there's someone beside you that needs to see that I'm here now, but I don't have to stay there. If I work hard enough and long enough, the Jeffersons, thank you, Miss Blessings. You know, when I watch and listen to folk that speaks, when I watch certain television show, I always look at the areas that I can grow from or the encouragement that I can get from it. And yes, there's a certain segment of people that believe, and they have a right to believe that they will not move from here. Doesn't matter how much they flourish. They have a right to believe what they believe. But the goal is to show youngsters and other folk looking on that are struggling. The goal is to show them that, again, with hard work, we can go from a cardboard box to a one room, to a one bedroom, to a two bedroom, to a house. There's nothing wrong with that because it encourages someone. There's nothing wrong with it. And the person who doesn't do that, they have a right to make the decisions for themselves. But it has been proven that stratification, intermingling, and growth makes success very, very admirable. And success, don't get me wrong, success is not only money. Success is not money. Success is like an onion. There's different tier to it. But when I was in college, I had a professor, sociology professor. And she asked us, we had to do quite a few tasks before graduation. And that's what I love about going to Concordia College in Bronxville, New York. If you say your major is to become a nurse, from you start, you have to find a volunteer program, whether it's in a nursing home, whether it's nursing somebody privately at home through your church or through different volunteer organizations, to start to get the feel on the understanding of what you're getting into. And I remember when I hit sociology, the first semester, she sent us out. We went in a group. It was 4 females and 6 males. They were a protector. They were part of the study, but they were also our protector, because if a female is downtown Manhattan, I think we're on 11th Avenue, which was, 11th Avenue was a piece of work. By yourself, you're asking for trouble. So having a man there. And when we got back and we had to give our findings, one of the things she said to us is, how did you empower the people? Because we were literally begging. That's how we survived. We had to beg like everybody else that is panhandling. We had to beg. And she says, how did it make you feel? Yes, we know you're going home to your bed, but how did it make you feel? And I said, I understood how hard it is to beg. It takes a lot of guts because people just pass you. And you have to develop the gut again to beg again to survive, because we had to have our lunch from the money we collected and our dinner. And we couldn't share with each other. So if you collected $4, that's what you're having for lunch and dinner. And then she said to us in one of her lectures, if you're living in an apartment and when you open the window, all you see is the top of houses. There's nothing else to see. And when you go in the garage, in the parking space, there's no cars there. Okay, darling, thank you for your support. Gosh, you've been here from day one, Miss J. Thank you. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Keep me prayed up. And she said, if you are looking out a window and there's nothing to elevate your thoughts, there's nothing to dream for, you cannot grow. That thing stayed with me. She said, you cannot grow. She said, here's the thing. When you look out your window and you see a beautiful home and you see a beautiful apartment and you see flowers growing, and when you walk in the garage, you see a car, it makes you want to work hard, because the dream is to get a car and to get a home through hard work. That thing stayed with me. We must have something to dream on. We must have something to look forward to. We must have something to look forward to. Why you think so many elders volunteer after retirement? Have you ever gone into Mayo Hospital? And I think most of the hospitals now, but I admire Mayo Hospital. Everywhere you go, there's a volunteer. Where are you trying to go? I'm trying to go to the third floor. Okay, I'll walk alongside you and show. And when you get to the third floor, there's someone on the elevator says, what doctor are you? Oh, Dr. S is on the right, Dr. Y is on the left. And they're so cheerful and they're so happy. Why? Because they wake up with a purpose. They wake up with a purpose. And when you have a purpose and when you can dream, life becomes easier. Life becomes easier. For those who believe in a higher power, life becomes easier because we can lean on him. We can know that he said he will never let me suffer. He will never let anyone laugh at me because I am his child. So everything we're doing, plan, dream, have goals, and write them down. Write them down. Because in writing them down, I tick them off. I don't do New Year's resolution. I don't believe in it. But I also believe that there has to be change in my life on a daily basis. And as a new year approach, and God if it's his will grant me to enter 2024. I want them to be a little different. I want things to be a little different because I have to dream big, because life is hard. Life has hit me with some boulders that if I stop dreaming, I will stop living. So when you get the opportunity to make money that you didn't have to sit in an interview for, you didn't have to sit in an orientation, you didn't have to go on probation, and you're getting this money, be grateful. Don't think about the instant gratification for more than 10 minutes. We all are like that. We are human beings. But if you have a long-term plan and you said 5 cents is going, yes, yes. Someone says in my chat, it's daily changes, waiting until the end of the year or the new year should be dropping off certain things and aiming for better things. Not that you're making a New Year's resolution. My resolution is every day walking closer to God and becoming a better person. And those thorns in my flesh, those things that I'm working on so hard, that God gives somebody grace to understand that, listen, she's working on it. If it bothers you, can you imagine what it does for her? She's intelligent enough to know that this is something that she has to work on and she's working on. So when we have given a gift, whether it's a family member visiting you, whether it's a friend calling, appreciate it. And if we learn to appreciate the small things, when the big one comes, we can come up for air. But again, I say, as West Indians, we are so indoctrinated with this thing about I have to live better than I lived when I was small. I said it already and I'm going to keep saying it. The way my parents set up my life when I was small until I left their home, I'm grateful. There was nothing I needed that I didn't get. And some of my wants were met, but not all. Because if we don't discipline ourselves, 2023, I don't know if it's me alone, but 2023, it's a hard year. It's rough. Since we got over that thing that happened, you remember that thing? Yeah, the thing that happened? Remember that thing? Since we got over that thing, things has changed so much in the workplace. Things has changed so much. People are not hiring as often as they used to. People are cutting, employees are cutting hours. Things are hard, guys. I don't know if it's only me. Things are hard. You know, yesterday I was in church and our community service director was given the monthly report for the boxes of nutrition food that we have handed to individuals that are need based. Walters, Sharon, how are you, girl? How are you? Glad to see you. I saw your thing, but yesterday I was in church all day, and I think I answered you this morning. If I didn't, hold it to my head and not my heart. Okay? Thanks for coming in. Thank you so much. And she was saying, great. Happy to hear, Sharon. She was saying that for the month of October, she served X amount of family. Now I volunteer in that program. And I remember when we just started. When we just started, when the day ended, we had enough food to go another day. Now, sometimes in the middle of packing the boxes, we run out of corn. We run out of frozen this. We run out of milk. We're out of cereal. We're out of onions. We're out of potatoes because the need this year has been so great. And we have working people, we have seniors, we have a gamut of people that come to us for support because it's not help. We're supporting them. We're the bridge to give them a meal to eat. Those that collect food stamps until they get their food stamps. Those that collect a paycheck until they get their paycheck. Those that collect Social Security until they get their Social Security. So life is hard. So when we are blessed, let us be more conscious of these YouTube payments that we're getting. Again, let me say, I have not gotten mine yet. I'm just doing this because I enjoy it. And when I get to the place that YouTube think I've done a good job and they're ready to pay me, I will be grateful. But I'm saying for those who are caught in the situation where they're losing everything after staying talking for hours, they're losing everything, whether it's through bad management or overspending or squandering. I'm encouraging those like myself who has just started this journey to be careful. I said it before you got in here. Be careful of who you allow to manage this channel and the registration for YouTube in their name. Because if you do not have legal boundaries set up, documented paperwork, the money belongs to them because their name is on the check, their social security number. Be careful. Be smart. I was asked to talk about it because the individual said to me she doesn't think there's any education given to people on YouTube on how to invest their money and how to plan for their future and their children with this money that they're getting. You don't need 5,000 pairs of pocketbook and shoes and 10,000 purses, and you don't. And don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong. I love good things. I love good things. I was raised that way. It's in my genes. Blame my mom. But I love to know that I can afford to take care of myself. I will sweep the streets if I have to take care of myself. I have no shame in making money the legal way. Guys, those of us who are listening and not active in the chat, thank you for giving me your thumbs up. Continue to do that for me. Those who have just come in the chat, please, 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 please. I know you visit a number of platforms and you know that the thumbs up is a big deal for us. It's a really, YouTube wants it. YouTube loves it and we want it. So guys, please, as you're here listening, because if you're listening, that means there's something that's interesting to you. So if there's just one thing that you liked about what I said, just give me a finger. Just give me a finger. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, guys, how was your weekend? What did you have for dinner? Are you prepared for work tomorrow? For those of us who are in the US, those of us who are in the US that were able to get a long weekend, I know you loved it. You loved it. You loved it. I hope you got some rest. I hope you got some rest. And let's continue to be kind to each other. Let's continue to support those YouTubers that you choose to support. Continue to support them. And this is the reason why, and I'll say it again, I appreciate you here with me, because you can be at bigger places. There's bigger channels out there. So I appreciate you. So have a good night. Thanks for coming. And I hope that something that I've said, especially for my YouTubers, especially for my beginners, please, 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 please make sure that your money is your money, not just you coming on and speaking, but the channel is yours, your money is yours. Do not give the rights to individuals exclusively, administrative rights, because these individuals can go in and do what they wish. Be careful, and I wish you luck and continued success. And you guys know that I try to support everyone I can. And again, thanks for your support and have a good night.